Hey guys, my name is Jeremiah Stepp with Steps Pressure Washing and More. We run a small pressure washing business here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we actually started using Housecall Pro this year to be our CRM. And I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience and a lot about my impression of the app overall and how we use this software in our business. Okay, so really I want to get down to really back to the beginning. We ended up signing up with Housecall Pro because we lost a customer contact information. We had received a Facebook message from somebody and we gave them a quote through Facebook. We booked them through Facebook. Everything was great. It was 3 weeks before we booked them 3 weeks out. And the day before their service, I was frantically trying to find their phone number. I had their address, I had their name, I had the service, I had what we were going to charge them. Everything was written down, but I didn't have any way to contact them. So I actually was able to find their information right before we went, so I was able to let them know at least we were coming. But it ended up being one of those things where it was really an eye-opener. After 4 years in business, I had 6 different apps that was running my business, so I really decided that it was time to kind of consolidate that down into one place. What I didn't understand about Housecall Pro when I signed up is I was mainly looking for a customer resource management software. So I wanted a place to store all of my customer profiles and maybe send some invoices, maybe do a little this and that, but the main purpose of it was to have one spot for my customer contact information. The deeper I got into the setup on this, the more I realized that this isn't so much a customer resource management software, but it's an entire back office management system for my business. So the way that we operate has completely changed in the past few months since we started, and I don't think I will ever be able to go back to not having everything in one spot. So for any of you out there who've operated or managed a business for someone else, generally there is a back office operating system that you run the entire store or business out of. If you are doing mobile service industry like I do, it is imperative that everything rolls with you on your phone. And that's exactly what this is. So for me, I'm able to start a customer transaction to finishing a customer transaction all in one spot. So now I want to take you start to finish what I do when a customer calls me for a quote using Housecall Pro. So the first thing when a customer calls for a quote, instead of giving them their quote immediately to see if they accept the quote, then I can go ahead and book it, I go ahead and I start building their customer profile. So when they call up and say, hey, I want to get my house pressure washed, I say, cool, let me go ahead and get a little bit of information from you. So I get their name, address, phone number, and email address, and I get all that into their customer profile. Once I have that set up, I go over and I start to create an estimate. So the create an estimate is something that saves me a ton of time compared to the way I used to do it, and I'm able to create the estimate using their customer profile, and then if they accept the job while I'm on the phone with them, I just have to change that estimate, convert to a job. I push that convert to job button, and then I can start scheduling. So I go ahead and get it scheduled. I have all of my schedule in the Housecall Pro app, and if I had employees, I'd have their schedules on there as well. So I love having that all in one spot because I was going off of Google Calendar, and having Google Calendar was wonderful, but it was one app for one thing. So having this one app running all of the different parts is awesome. But I'll go ahead and pick the day and time that works for me and the customer. I'll dispatch the job to myself as I'm the only technician in our system. And then I'll just hit save. And once I hit save, it automatically sends them out a pre-typed text message, which I have that goes out to all of my customers. And that just basically says, hey, congratulations, your job is booked at this day for this time. Your technician is going to be Jeremiah Stepp, and here's a quick link. Here's a link to a quick checklist to help you prepare for your cleaning. And what I actually did when I set up my Housecall Pro is there's not enough room in that text message to send an entire checklist for whatever cleaning somebody needs. So I added a page on my website to like a how to prepare for your upcoming cleaning. And so if they're getting gutter cleaning done, if they're getting house washing done, if they're getting concrete cleaning done or decks or whatever it might be, that one page just covers all of their checklists, and I just have that little link in there. The day before I come out for their service, they get a reminder text that says, hey, just a reminder, Jeremiah is going to be coming out to do your service tomorrow. Make sure you got everything ready, and we're looking forward to seeing you. On the day of service, this one is actually pretty fun, is I just pull up the job on my dashboard, and there's a button on there that you click that lets the customer know I'm on my way, and it automatically pulls up the map app on my phone. And that saves me time. Even though it's a little bit of time, it saves me time, and it keeps the customer informed every step of the way. Once I'm done with the job, I can just hit finish job, and it automatically sends the customer their invoice. If they want to pay online, they can, which I actually love when they pay online because it gives them the option to tip. And giving them the option to tip has actually increased our revenue so far in the past few months while we've been using this software. And it has been pretty nice, honestly, just having that option for people to tip. And anyway, once they have the option to pay online, or they can pay me by cash or check, and I just mark it as paid in the app, it automatically sends them a link to our Google review site, so they don't have to go hunt it down, and asks them, would you please give us a 5-star review? Our reviews received per customer since starting Housecall Pro has tripled over what we used to get our reviews per customer not using Housecall Pro. Mainly because I would forget to send that link because I was on my way to the next job, because I was already trying to get as much crammed into my day as possible. Then when I'm done with that job, it's done, it's over, it's completed. And I can just hit that button on the next job that says I'm on my way, and it pulls up my map to the next address. So it definitely makes my day flow a lot smoother. It saves me a lot of time because all of those text messages that are automatically sent out are things I would do at home. So reminding a customer, I'm going to be there in a day or two, or hey, don't forget to send that review, hey, I'm on my way. Those are most of those things I was doing while at home. So what this app has done is it has taken the, I guess, stress of having to balance home life and having to keep up with the customers that I'm going to be going out to in the next couple days. It has also saved me time because I have all of my, it also saves me time just the little things in between, like stopping and texting and stopping and texting, stopping and texting. It's just automatically generated. We've also been able to increase our revenue, which I was not anticipating with adding a CRM, but we've been able to increase our revenue because I can add multiple estimate options. So if somebody calls me up for a pressure washing service, I can give them an estimate for pressure washing service and then also offer to send them an estimate for a few other services that they may be able to group with that. And what I can do is I can send somebody their pressure washing service, which is what they asked for. Then I can add on another estimate that has their pressure washing service and a gutter cleaning service that maybe I throw a little discount on if they want to do both at the same time. Then I can send them a third invoice and say, hey, if you want your house washed, your gutters cleaned, and your driveway cleaned, this is what that price would be. And then they have a few options that they can pick from if they want to get a little bit more work done around their house. But again, they still have that main option, that first option that, hey, this is what you asked for. If you still want that, that's awesome. You just click Approve Estimate, and I'll add you to the schedule. I do love the fact that it automatically sends out a link to our terms of services. It sends out that link for reviews. Again, reviews are everything on Google. And when people are finding your website and they see, you've got 7 5-star reviews, they're probably going to go and keep scrolling. They want to see somebody who's a little bit more established and a little bit more trusted in their community. And while we're on the subject of how the Housecall Pro has increased our revenue, it now has all of my outstanding estimates in one spot. I can see all of my estimates that have been approved, I can see all of the estimates that are pending, and all of the estimates that were not approved. So if I have an estimate that's been pending for a week or two, I can go ahead and give that customer a call to follow up and say, hey, it's, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. I see that you haven't approved our invoice yet. Is there anything we can do today to go ahead and get you on the schedule? And if they say, I don't want to go with your service because I booked with somebody else, that's fine. I'm just following up. But a lot of times they say, oh yeah, I absolutely completely forgot. Let's go ahead and get you on the schedule. And it just gives me that one spot. So I don't have to go back through my notepads. Did I leave that in the truck because I gave it, I gave an estimate, while doing gutter cleaning, came down the ladder, went over to the truck, gave somebody an estimate, and I put it on a Post-it note that's in my truck. I don't know. Was it when I was still at home for the morning? Somebody called me up before I left for the day, and I have it in my notepad in my dining room. I have everything in one spot, so when I get up in the morning, I can see this is the job I'm going to start my day with. This is going to be the estimates that still need to be followed up with. These are the jobs upcoming. This is the amount of revenue scheduled for October. This is the amount of revenue that we got for August. I can see a whole lot of stuff, and it really keeps me from being so scattered. It can keep my focus on operating my business rather than my focus on keeping the plates spinning so that I didn't forget to follow up on that estimate. And I didn't forget to send out a reminder until the morning before I come and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'll be at your house in 30 minutes. So it makes a huge difference, and it adds a polished look for our business, for the customers. That way they can kind of get that feel of, do we want to do business with this company? When I first got started with pressure washing and we do pressure washing, gutter cleaning, a lot of exterior cleaning in our area. When I first got started, I really was thinking a CRM was something for more established businesses. And what I do love about Housecall Pro is they have a tiered pricing system. So if you are just getting started, you can choose the lower end of that and get most of the features that I've talked about today. A lot of the features on that lower end are built for a solo entrepreneur, somebody who is out there running the business themselves and doing the work themselves. You get into other options that are more tailored to someone who is operating a business who has multiple employees in the field, where you can track their movement, you can see what they've been doing for the day. And if I had known how much I could have increased my revenue by running it through the CRM, I honestly wish I had started the business using Housecall Pro rather than waiting 4 years of having a jumbled mess and forgetting to send out text messages and having poor review results. Like, I have a 5-star average on Google, but it's a low number. So now that I'm 4 years in, I'm having to build that number up, whereas I should have been doing that from day one. I'm also going through and thinking to myself, how many estimates did I not follow up on over the years because I completely forgot about them? And the number of that is pretty staggering. I've gotten many, many phone calls, especially once we switched our marketing from flyers to yard signs. We started getting a lot more phone calls, and a lot of those phone calls did not turn into a sale. I think a lot more of those phone calls would have turned into sales if I had followed up on those estimates. If you guys are interested in seeing if Housecall Pro could benefit your business the way that it has mine, click the link in the description below for a free 14-day trial, and you can see what they have to offer for you. If you are currently running with no CRM like I was, I think that you'll be wildly surprised with how efficient your operation can be just with downloading one app. And I highly recommend them just from my personal experience. I will never go back to running without a CRM. Housecall Pro has changed the way that my business operates. It's for absolute better. And moving forward, I am looking forward to getting into a busier season and seeing how efficient I can operate with this sending everything out for me. It's the automation that saves me time. And that time doesn't necessarily equal money, but a lot of times that time equals more time with my family. And that is the number one benefit that I didn't understand I was going to be getting, was instead of coming home from a long day of work to go into the dining room and start my administrative work just catching up on the day and sending out the text messages for the next day. It really, really has streamlined what I have to do once I get home from work. Once I get home from work, I pretty much just get to be home from work. And that has been an absolute blessing to us, and I am very, very grateful for it. Well, either way, make sure to check that link out down below, and you guys be safe out there.